Hey, Kaylee, are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for sending me that lovely baby gift. It just arrived yesterday. In fact, we opened it up and we were already putting it to use right away. And even little Eve seems to like it.
Hello, Cindy. I'm really glad that you all seem to enjoy my gift. I'm really sorry that I was dragging my feet with sending it to you guys.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you've been working in a whole different country for a while now. But now that you're back, do you know if you're going to stay for long?
Oh, yes. I was only working overseas because my work had sent me there on a special project. But I don't have any plans to be leaving the country anytime soon now that I'm finally back.
Great! Well then, you and I should try and meet up more since you're going to be around. Actually, next month is going to be Eve's first birthday. Would you want to come and be there for her party?
Would that be okay? I mean, you wouldn't mind if I was there to help celebrate?
Of course we wouldn't mind. I mean, none of our parents live anywhere close to us, right? So you're basically the closest family we have. We'd love it if you could come over and join the party.
Thank you so much. I'll have to check my schedule first since I'm not sure if I have anything. But as soon as I do, I'll get back to you and let you know my availability.
You know, Kaylee, you don't always have to talk as if you're causing some kind of trouble for us just by coming to our house or something.
You're right. I'm sorry. I think I've just been so used to mostly talking to people from work that I'm just always putting on my customer service voice, even in text, I guess. But you're right. I don't mean to act as if I'm some kind of burden or anything.
Well, I am married to your brother, you know. It's fine to think of us more as family. But then again, I guess you were away for quite a while, right? In fact, now that I think about it, I think you and I have only ever actually met in person like 3 times.
I wish I could say that it's been more, but I guess with the circumstances the way they were.
Actually, this is going to be really fun. I don't think I've really known anyone like you, so it'll be really nice getting to know you better from here on out. After all, you're not a loudmouth like me. Would you say that you're more of a talker or a listener?
I would say I'm a much better listener than talker, so if anything, I'm glad that you're so loquacious.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. Actually, the truth is that I've been wanting to get to know you better for a long time.
Oh, really? I don't think that I knew that. Do you mind if I ask why that is?
Well, because you're my sister-in-law, of course. I've heard some stuff about you through Brandon. I've never had a sister, and I was just looking forward to gaining one.
Oh, I see. Well, then I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, but I hope that we can get along.
There you go with that customer service voice again. But I guess it's not fair for me to expect you to drop that right away. But I just want you to know that you really can think of me like a sister. And I would love to go out and eat or do some shopping with you sometime.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice. I would love to go out for a meal sometime. But are you sure that you're going to be able to do that while Eve is still so little?
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, on the weekends, your brother is always watching Eve.
Oh, really? I have to say that that kind of surprises me. I didn't know Brandon did that kind of thing.
Wait, really? You didn't know what he watched Eve on the weekends? Well, we've been doing this for a while now, but yeah, he's super good with her.
Well, that's good to hear. I guess maybe the image I have of Brandon in my head is a little more wild?
Wait, really? You mean that your brother used to be a bit of a wild child? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. You'll have to tell me all about him when we go out.
Well, okay then. If you'd like to hear some stories about how Brandon used to be, I am happy to tell you.
Oh, great. This is actually going to be so much fun. And remember to tell me when you're free next week so that you can show up to Eve's birthday party. Hey, Kaylee. I was just wondering if you saw the message that I sent you this afternoon. You still haven't gotten back to me at all.
Oh, I'm really sorry to respond to you so late, Cindy. The truth is that I don't really check my phone all that much at work.
Well, you really should check it out. The new stock just arrived, so you should go and look at it for yourself.
The new stock? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Did you even open the link that I sent you? It's for a limited time only sale from one of my favorite cosmetic stores.
Oh, I see. I think I remember you saying something about wanting some product from this sale, right? Are you trying to ask me to buy you something from this sale?
You can just think of it as a Christmas present for me. I mean, after all, I brought you those homemade cookies, but I haven't gotten anything from you.
Oh, I guess I hadn't realized that I still haven't sent anything. I'm sorry about that.
Didn't your parents ever teach you about getting and giving gifts? If a family member gets you something, then that means you have to get them something in return.
I see. Okay then, I will check out the link you sent me in more detail when I get home.
Okay, but just know that you have to get the things I want today. You can't risk waiting or else they might not be there later, okay?
Okay, I understand. I'll be sure to buy your gifts right away then.
You know, Kaylee, you sure are a hard worker, but your people skills could use a little bit of work. Did you know that?
I mean, it's not like I'm not aware of it, but I have friends and that makes me happy at least.
You really have friends? I didn't know that. Or is that why you come back from living overseas? Did you just realize that you had nobody there?
No, the reason I came back from living overseas was because the job that I was working that had put me over there ended. But I actually really enjoyed living in a different country. It was really fun.
I see. Well, I guess that I just find that hard to believe since you are just rather dull. I guess I just didn't know how you could have fun the way you are.
Cindy, I really am not trying to start anything, but I feel like the way you talk to me has gotten more mean recently.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I guess sometimes I just type or say things without even thinking about it. I really am not trying to be rude though.
Really? Because it doesn't feel that way a lot of the time, you know.
I really am sorry. But I guess the only reason I feel comfortable talking to you like that is because I'm starting to really like you. So I don't think that you should sweat the small stuff like that and just try and see it all as a good thing, okay?
Right. I guess I'll try and remember that for the future then.
Oh, and by the way, there was actually something that I wanted to ask you. You see, the thing is that Brandon is going to be on a business trip from next month.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was going to be going anywhere.
Right. And so the thing is that he'll be gone for a month, and that means that I'll be having to take care of Eve all by myself. So anyways, I was just hoping that I could leave her at your place for at least a few days.
You mean that you want me to watch over Eve for a few days?
Well, I just don't really have anyone else that I can go to about this. Please? You're the only one I can count on.
I know, but Eve is still just barely a year old, right? And I've never watched over a kid in my life.
Oh, I'm sure that you'll be fine. After all, everyone has to learn sometime. I'm sure you'll get it right away. Just give it a few hours. Please? I would really appreciate it if I could count on you for this. There are some things that I really need to take care of.
Well, okay then. I guess if you ask me to do it on the weekend, then I think I could make that work.
Amazing! Thank you so much. I'll send you the days that I need you to look after Eve for me. Thanks again for doing this.
Cindy, are you there? We have a real problem over here. It's about Eve. I just felt her forehead and I think she has a fever.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, just give her some fever tablets and put her down for a nap. That's an easy fix.
Are you sure that I shouldn't try and take her to a doctor or something like that? I mean, I don't think babies are supposed to be running this hot.
What are you talking about? Kids get sick and have fever all the time. It's perfectly natural.
But, well, Eve just looks like she's really uncomfortable right now. I really think that it might be best to take her to a doctor so that she can be looked at.
Okay then, if you want to take her to the doctor, then take her to the doctor. Do you really need to ask me before you do every little thing? If you think that you know what's best, then just do it. You don't need to check with me for everything, you know.
Okay then, would you mind telling me what time you were going to come and pick Eve up? Because it's already well past the time that you said you were going to pick her up. Not only that, but I don't have any of her insurance information, so I think it would be best for you to pick her up and take her to the doctor.
I really don't think that it's going to be necessary. Everything you need for Eve should be in the bag that I gave you. Just dig around in there. I'm sure that there's some medicine inside. You really don't need to be making such a big deal out of all this.
Wait a second, are you not coming to pick Eve up? You know I have to go to work tomorrow, right?
Can't you just take some time off and not go to work? I have no idea what time I'm going to be able to make it to your place tomorrow either.
Cindy, come on. I think that you're trying to avoid answering my question. You said that you were going to come and pick Eve up from me in the afternoon, remember?
And I really was going to do that, but then I just got really busy and now I can't. I don't know what more you want from me.
I want you to come and pick your daughter up from my house. Is that really so much?
And why should I have to do that? You think that just because I'm a mom that I shouldn't be allowed to have any breaks?
That's not what I said at all, Cindy, but I'm telling you that Eve has a fever and isn't looking so good.
Then just give her some food, medicine, and put her down for a nap. This really doesn't need to be so complicated.
Sorry, do you mind if I ask where you are right now that you can't come and get Eve?
Look, you have no idea how hard it is taking care of the house and watching over Eve day in and day out. So I just popped out of the house for a while to spot where I could try and refresh myself. Is that good enough for you?
Okay, I think that I'm going to call Brandon and ask about what he thinks I should do.
Hold on a second. Why do you have to go and get your brother involved? I don't understand.
Well, because you're not coming to pick up Eve at the time that you said you were. So if you're not going to do that, then I have to reach out to Brandon and ask him instead.
You do know that he's away on a business trip right now, don't you? I really don't think that he would want to be bothered by something like this.
But it's okay for you to cause me trouble with all of this?
Oh, come on. Who's asking you to look after a little baby causing you any trouble? You know, I wouldn't have let you do this if I knew you were going to act like this.
No, and I don't think that Eve is the problem here. You told me you were going to come at a certain time and you're still not here. I think that you're actually being really irresponsible concerning Eve right now.
Let me tell you now that if my husband finds out about this, you are going to be in big trouble. He might leave me because of this.
Well, if you don't want that to happen, then I suggest that you come and pick up your daughter.
I've already told you that I'm just not going to be able to make it there in time to pick Eve up tonight. But you can just please not tell Brandon about this? You're the one making these threats, but you're not taking responsibility for them.
That doesn't even make sense. I'm not threatening anyone. I just want Eve picked up at the time you said to me.
You really are a pain in the neck, do you know that? How many times are you going to make me say that I can't pick her up? And if you have all this time to message me, then why don't you just take Eve to the doctor yourself? And don't forget to feed her dinner. Hey there, Kaylee. I just wanted to check and see how my kid is doing. Is Eve doing well?
Well, her fever has gone down, yes. But do you have any idea how long it's been since you dropped off Eve here with me?
I think it's only been like a week, right?
Only been? You mean that it's already been a week?
Okay, if you really want me to go and pick her up that badly, then how about you pay me to do it?
What do you mean by that? Why in the world would I pay you to get your own daughter?
Well, because I used too much money while I was away on vacation, and now I need some more. So if you want me to pick her up, you can write me a check for $1,000. Or better yet, send it through PayPal or something first, and then I'll come and get Eve.
This has got to be a joke. Either way, Eve isn't here, so I'm not going to be playing this game of yours.
What do you mean that Eve isn't there? Where is she if she's not with you?
Well, I had to go to work, so I couldn't watch Eve. I told you all of this already.
But then where is my daughter right now?
If you really want to know, she's at your house. But don't worry, she's with my mom, who is watching over her.
Wait a second. You mean that you told your mom about me leaving Eve with you? I thought I told you not to do that.
You told me not to tell my brother, but you didn't tell me anything about not telling my mom.
It's all the same. Why would you do this? I told you that it was just supposed to be between you and I.
Oh, well, it's a bit late for that now. After all, it was my brother who had to come back from his business trip to let my mom into your house.
Wait a second. So then, Brandon and your mom know?
That's right. I actually told Brandon first, and then he told my mom and arranged for her to look after Eve.
But this doesn't make any sense. Why is all of this happening? I thought you weren't going to tell anyone. I told you that Brandon might leave me if he heard about this, don't you remember?
I remember you saying that, and I also remember telling you to get your daughter if you didn't want that. So I don't really see how I'm responsible for any of this at all.
Of course you're responsible. You're responsible for all of this. You should have just kept your mouth shut and watched Eve like I asked.
And you should have come and picked up your daughter after I told you that she had a really bad fever. But instead you left her with me for a whole week when it was only supposed to be a weekend. And when I learned that you weren't even in the city because you were away on some trip, I asked Brandon to ask our mom if she could look after Eve instead.
You have no idea how hard it is to be raising a child on your own. I just needed some time to relax and refresh.
If you really needed that time, then you should have talked to your husband about it. But instead you tried to dump Eve on me and didn't even bother telling anyone.
But then, what's going to happen? Why isn't Brandon picking up when I try to call him?
I imagine that he's busy trying to find evidence that you weren't taking care of Eve. And you were gone for a whole week, so I'm sure he's busy tracing all your steps.
But then what's going to happen to me? I never wanted any of this. This wasn't supposed to go this way. I don't want Brandon to be mad at me. I don't want him to leave me. I only wanted a little vacation. I just needed you to look after Eve for a little bit. I never meant to cause any trouble for anyone, but I just needed a longer break.
You thought that just because I'm a quiet person that you could take advantage of me?
It's not like that at all. I just thought that I could count on you. But I realized that I was asking way too much from you.
And here I thought that I would be able to count on you as well. You were so nice and talked so much about wanting to be my friend, but I think that you just wanted someone to do the work that you didn't feel like doing. I mean, you could have hired a babysitting service or gone to family or worked something out if you were going to be gone for so long. But instead, you just abandoned your child with me and didn't look back at all.
But I wasn't doing it to be mean. I didn't mean to upset you or hurt Eve or anything.
I'm afraid that it's a bit late to be saying all of that now, Cindy.
Please, you have to try and explain things to your brother and mom. You have to explain to them that this is all just one big mistake. I promise that I'll never do anything like this again if you just help me out this one time, Kaylee.
Oh, I already offered to help you out once, and I see how that ended up for everyone involved. You got yourself into this mess, and now you are going to get yourself out. But just don't try and involve me. I don't want anything to do with this. After that, I heard from Brandon about what he'd uncovered in his investigation into where Cindy went for the week. It turns out that she went out of state to stay at a nice hotel for the week, but she wasn't alone. She was with another man from Brandon's office. In the end, not only did Brandon and Cindy end up divorcing, but she also had to pay for her affair, lost custody of Eve, and was also tasked with paying child support until Eve became an adult. Brandon, who had to turn right around and finish his business trip before coming back to deal with all of this, was so apologetic to our mom and I. He was so sorry that we both got dragged into a mess of Cindy's making. We both told him that it was okay and that we were just glad that things were solved and that Eve was okay. Of course, Brandon is going to have to explain a lot to his daughter when she grows up, but that's a story for a different time. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.